You wake up every morning with two choices: to live the day you're handed or to build the day you demand. Most people never realize they even have that choice. They drag themselves out of bed as if someone wound them up the night before, pointed them in a direction, and pressed play. But that's not living, that's sleepwalking. And if you're sleepwalking through your mornings, you're sleepwalking through your life. You can't change the world in autopilot mode. You can't change your own damn life that way either. So I'll tell you the truth. Your mornings are your weapon. And if you don't take control of them, someone else will use them against you. The way you start determines the way you finish. If you wake up chasing noise notifications, other people's opinions, meaningless distractions, you are already a follower before you've taken your first breath outside the sheets. And here's the cruel part. The world rewards the builders, not the reactors. The ones who design their day before anyone else gets a say. The ones who decide, this is my direction, this is my fight, this is my work. You think discipline is about restriction. It's not. It's about freedom, the freedom to say no to the irrelevant so you can say hell yes to the essential. And the essential starts in your head. That's where every victory or defeat is decided before the world even sees it. Your mindset is the soil. If the soil is poisoned with doubt, fear, and laziness, you can plant the best seeds and they'll rot before they sprout. But if your soil is rich with clarity, grit, and belief, you can grow forests from the smallest beginnings. That belief isn't some fluffy inspiration you tape to your wall. It's forged in decisions you make every single moment to push when it's hard, to persist when it's slow, to trust yourself when the rest of the room doesn't. Your belief is useless if it's fragile. You need belief that can take a punch. You need belief that survives failure after failure without losing its teeth. Because failure isn't the end, it's the sharpening stone, the thing that grinds you until the edges are dangerous enough to cut through the noise. But you can't get sharpened if you hide from the grind. You can't get sharpened if you spend your life trying to avoid looking stupid or being wrong or hearing no. Every no you avoid is a yes you'll never see. So clarity matters. You've got to know what you want so precisely it burns in your chest. Most people think they want success, but they couldn't tell you what that looks like if their life depended on it. Vague goals produce vague results. You don't kind of want to win. You either want it so bad it keeps you up at night, or you don't want it at all. And if you can't describe it, you can't build it. If you can't see it, you can't walk toward it. Vision is your compass when everything else goes dark. But here's where most stop. They think vision alone will carry them. They make mood boards, write pretty mission statements, post quotes. And then, nothing. Vision without discipline is hallucination. You can dream yourself into a corner if you're not careful. Discipline is the chain between what you see in your mind and what you hold in your hands. Without it, you're just another talker. And the world is already drowning in talkers. Discipline doesn't care about your mood. Discipline doesn't wait for motivation. Motivation is fickle. Discipline is loyal. You either show up or you don't. You either do the work or you don't. And the more you train yourself to act without permission from your emotions, the more dangerous you become in the best way. Because while everyone else is waiting to feel ready, you've already moved, already built, already struck. That speed, that decisiveness, that's how you win before the race has even started. And yet, power without gratitude is poison. If you don't know how to be grateful, you'll always feel broke, no matter how rich you get. Gratitude keeps you dangerous in the right way, hungry but not hollow. It reminds you that everything you have, you once didn't, that every door you walk through could have stayed closed. Gratitude doesn't make you soft. It makes you unstoppable, because you're fueled by appreciation, not entitlement. You work better when you're thankful for the work itself. But don't mistake gratitude for complacency. Gratitude says, I'm thankful for what I have, but greatness adds, and I will still go get what's next. You need both. The peace of knowing you're already winning, and the fire of knowing the game isn't over. That balance is what keeps you from burning out or rotting away. The world will demand you bend, and you should, but not in the way they think. Be flexible in method, unbreakable in purpose. If you're rigid in your tactics, you'll snap the first time the plan fails. But if your core is unshakable, you can shift and adapt and still keep moving toward the same target. Flexibility without purpose is drifting. Purpose without flexibility is suffocation. Get both right and you'll move like water, unstoppable, because you can flow or crash depending on what's needed. Resilience isn't about pretending nothing hurts. It's about refusing to stop even when it does. It's about showing up again after the storm, not because the sky is clear, but because you've decided the weather doesn't decide for you. You build resilience in the small things. The moments you could quit and no one would blame you, but you stay anyway. Every time you do, you teach yourself, I am the kind of person who finishes. And once you become that kind of person, no setback can rewrite it. And never stop learning. The moment you think you've arrived, you've already started dying. Curiosity keeps you sharp. It keeps you ahead. The same arrogance that makes you ignore new ideas is the arrogance that will bury you. The best are students forever. They steal ideas from everywhere, they stay open, they keep reinventing. Reinvention is survival. They reinvent not because they are bored, but because they refuse to be predictable. Predictability is a coffin. It signals to the world that they've figured you out, that they can expect you to stay where you are. The ones who win over decades are the ones who stay in motion, constantly rewriting the rules even for themselves. You think reinvention is about throwing away the past? It's not. It's about dragging the past through fire and reshaping it into something sharper, something stronger. And you can't do any of that if you're afraid to move. Action is the only currency that buys real change. Thinking, planning, dreaming, those are drafts. Action is the printing press that makes them real. You'll never think your way into the perfect moment. You create the perfect moment by acting in imperfect conditions. Waiting for all lights to turn green is the fastest route to nowhere. The green light is you. Some people love to say they're not ready yet. They think time is a warehouse full of opportunities they can browse whenever they feel like it. But time is not a warehouse, it's a conveyor belt, and everything on it is moving past you, whether you pick it up or not. Opportunities don't circle back. If you don't grab them, they disappear behind you. Action means you stop letting life pass in your peripheral vision, and you step into the lane where things are actually moving. And when you act, act with conviction. Hesitation bleeds momentum. You don't step halfway into the cold water. You dive and let the shock wake every cell in your body. If you fail loud. You fail big, and you fail forward. People respect decisive failure more than timid survival. Because decisive failure means you tried to bend reality to your will, and sometimes that's enough to scare the world into giving way the next time you try. But action without aim is chaos. You can't just keep swinging in the dark hoping to hit something. You need to know your target so well that even when you close your eyes, you can still feel exactly where it is. That's why clarity matters. That's why you revisit your vision over and over until it feels less like a thought and more like muscle memory. You shouldn't have to think about what you're aiming for any more than you think about breathing. Clarity is what keeps you from wasting your energy on the wrong wars. Not every fight is your fight. The fastest way to lose is to win battles that don't matter. You've got to be ruthless in what you ignore. Most distractions aren't obvious enemies, they look like opportunities. But anything that doesn't move you closer to your vision is a thief, no matter how shiny it looks. And you can't afford to let thieves live in your schedule. Your schedule is sacred. How you spend your hours is how you spend your life. If your hours are owned by everyone else's demands, you are living someone else's story. Write your own. Protect your time like your oxygen, because it is your oxygen. You can survive without a lot of things, money, comfort, approval, but not without time. Once it's gone, it's gone. The most dangerous habit you can build is treating your time like it's refundable. And this is where discipline comes back to save you. Discipline is the security system for your time. It tells you, no, this doesn't belong here. No, this isn't worth the space. It reminds you that every yes you say to something meaningless is a no to something that could change your life. You think discipline is about grinding yourself into dust, but it's not. It's about carving away the waste, so what's left is pure, focused, and alive. You have to be okay with people not understanding that. You have to be okay with them calling you obsessed, arrogant, or cold. They won't see the hours you protected as investments. They'll see them as absences. Let them. You're not here to be available to everyone. You're here to be unshakable in the pursuit of what matters. Availability is a trap. The more you give it away, the less you have left for the work that actually matters. Gratitude is your counterweight here. It keeps you from becoming so consumed with the climb that you forget to breathe the air at the altitude you've reached. If you can't appreciate the view, you'll climb forever and feel nothing when you get there. Gratitude is your tether to reality. It reminds you why you started and who you are becoming. And it reminds you that success without meaning is just a louder kind of emptiness. Meaning is what keeps you alive after the winds stop thrilling you. At first, you're chasing the high of achievement, the rush of proving yourself. But that high fades. The applause becomes background noise. If you don't have meaning, if your work isn't connected to something that makes you proud to die doing it, you'll start to wonder why you're even climbing. That's when people burn out. Not because they're tired, but because they're hollow. Meaning is built by aligning your vision with something bigger than your own ego. It's knowing that even if your name disappears, the impact you made won't. That's where legacy comes from, not from the volume of your fame, but from the depth of your influence. You want to change the world? Change one life completely. Do that enough times, and the world will have no choice but to notice. But legacy isn't something you plan at the end of your career. It's something you're building every single day with the choices you make. Every conversation, every project, every risk, every stand you take or avoid, it's all adding up to the story they'll tell about you when you're gone. So make it a story worth telling. Resilience fuels that story. Not the kind of resilience that looks pretty on a poster, but the kind that's ugly and real. The kind that makes you drag yourself through days where nothing seems to work, where every door slams shut, where every move you make feels heavier than the last. Resilience is the refusal to let those days define you. It's looking failure in the face and saying, you are not the author here. And here's the thing, resilience is contagious. When you show the world you can't be broken, you give permission for others to believe they can't be broken either. That's impact. That's leadership. You don't lead by telling people what to do. You lead by showing them what's possible when nothing goes according to plan and you keep going anyway. Keep going. That's it. That's the secret. Most people don't fail because they're not talented enough or smart enough. They fail because they stop. They quit right before the moment everything was about to click, and they'll never know how close they were. Don't be one of them. Stay in the fight. Stay in the game. Keep moving forward when everyone else freezes. Because momentum is everything. Momentum doesn't care if your steps are small, it cares that they're constant. It's the compounding effect of forward motion that turns tiny pushes into unstoppable force. You push once, nothing happens. You push 100 times, still nothing. Then suddenly, on the 101st push, the wall cracks. People will call it luck. They won't see the 100 pushes before it because they weren't paying attention when it was boring. But you were. You stayed. You kept pressing. That's the discipline no one wants to talk about. The boring, unsexy, invisible work. The days you show up without applause, without results, without proof that it's even working. That's where winners are made. Anyone can show up when the cameras are on. Only the relentless show up when no one's watching. And here's the truth. The world doesn't owe you recognition for that. The reward is the edge you've built while they were sleeping. And when the cracks finally appear in that wall, when it finally gives way, you have to be ready to move. Opportunities have a short half-life. They don't wait for you to feel deserving or prepared. They present themselves in motion, and if you hesitate, they're gone. That's why you stay ready, not so you can rest, but so you can strike without thinking twice. Most people waste their wins because they're too busy celebrating to capitalize on them. I'm not saying don't celebrate hard, but understand that momentum doubles when you ride it. The best time to push for more is when you're already moving fast. Don't stop to admire the view for too long or you'll lose altitude. And altitude changes perspective. The higher you climb, the more you see, and the more you see, the more responsibility you have. Because once you've seen the possibilities, you can't pretend you haven't. You can't go back to living small without feeling the weight of what you're abandoning. That's why success scares some people, because it forces them to confront the fact that they're capable of more than they ever imagined. Capability is a responsibility. Once you know you can, you have to. It doesn't matter if it's hard, inconvenient, or terrifying. You weren't given potential to let it rot in the corner. You were given potential to stretch it, test it, bleed for it. The pain is the proof that you're using it. And the fear, that's just the cost of stepping into spaces most people avoid. You can't eliminate fear. Stop trying. Fear is the compass pointing you toward the places that matter. If something scares you and excites you at the same time, that's the thing you have to do. The only people who feel no fear are the ones playing so small they're invisible. Don't be invisible. Let your fear be the sign that you're alive, awake, and about to grow. Growth hurts. It has to. You're stretching beyond what you know, breaking the limits you've lived inside for years. And the people around you, they might not like it. Your growth forces them to face their own stagnation, and not everyone will thank you for that. Some will try to pull you back, disguise their fear as concern, tell you you're changing too much, too fast. Let them talk. You're not obligated to stay the same person just because it makes them comfortable. Comfort is the enemy of greatness. It's a soft cage that feels safe until you realize you've been locked inside for years. It's addictive because it asks nothing of you except to stay still. But here's the ugly truth. If you don't disrupt your own comfort, life will eventually do it for you, and it won't be gentle. You either choose your discomfort in the pursuit of growth, or you inherit discomfort through the decay of staying the same. That choice defines your life. You can't control every event, every setback, every hit you take, but you can control whether you use them or let them use you. You can let them break you, or you can let them shape you. Resilience is the art of turning damage into design. You take the hits, rearrange the pieces, and build something new out of what's left. And here's the secret most never learn. The process of rebuilding makes you more dangerous than you were before you broke. Because now you know the worst can happen, and you'll still stand. Fear loses its teeth when you've been chewed up and spit out and kept going anyway. That's when you stop playing not to lose and start playing to win. Playing to win requires a different mindset. You stop asking, what's the least I can get away with, and start asking, what's the most I can extract from this moment? You stop tiptoeing around possibilities and start kicking down doors. You stop managing your energy like you're trying to conserve it forever, and you start spending it like it's meant to create more. Because that's the truth. Energy multiplies when it's used, not when it's hoarded. That's why you can't wait for motivation. Motivation shows up after you've started, not before. Action is the ignition. Motivation is the fuel that follows. Waiting for motivation before acting is like waiting to sweat before you start running. It's backwards. Start moving and watch your drive catch fire. And when it does, channel it with precision. Energy without direction burns out fast. You need focus like a laser, not a floodlight. A floodlight lights up everything but doesn't move anything. A laser cuts. It pierces. It transforms what it touches. Your focus should be the same. Narrow, intense, and unyielding until the job is done. People will call you obsessive. Wear it like armor. Obsession is just another word for depth in a world addicted to distraction. The shallow can't understand the deep, and they'll try to shame you back to their level. Smile, nod, and keep digging. Depth is where the treasures are buried, and only the obsessed ever find them. But obsession alone isn't enough. You need recovery. Burnout doesn't come from working too hard. It comes from working without rhythm. Even the ocean has tides. Push hard, rest intentionally, then push again. Rest is not the enemy of ambition, it's the fuel for it. But it's only rest if it's intentional. Mindless escape is just another form of surrender. And remember, this game has no finish line. There's no moment where you finally arrive and everything stays perfect. Life is a moving target. Success is a moving target. You don't get to keep it just because you had it once. You have to earn it over and over. That's what keeps you sharp. That's what keeps you alive. So stop looking for the day it all gets easy. It won't. Instead, get addicted to the climb, the stretch, the daily sharpening. Learn to love the resistance because it's the only proof you're still growing. When you stop feeling it, you're either at the top or you've stopped moving. And the top isn't a place to rest. It's a place to launch the next climb. Because the truth is, there's no summit, only stages. You reach one peak, and suddenly the horizon cracks open with another, higher one staring you down. The people who keep winning are the ones who don't mistake a checkpoint for the finish line. They celebrate, yes, but they don't unpack their bags. They know the climb never stops, because the climb is the point. And that's what most people will never understand. They think the point of all this is to arrive, to hit some magic number in the bank account, to buy the car, to get the title, to post the victory. But once you've done all that, once you've hit every so-called milestone, you realize those things were never the reward. They were just markers along the way. The real reward is who you became by chasing them. The discipline you built, the clarity you earned, the resilience you forged in the dark. Those things don't fade when the applause dies. They're yours forever. But you only get them if you're willing to go deeper than comfort allows. You only get them if you're willing to bleed for a vision most people will never see. You only get them if you're willing to risk looking foolish, failing publicly, being misunderstood, and still keep moving. This is not a game for the polite. This is not a path for the timid. This is the road for the stubborn, the unreasonable, the relentless, the ones who refuse to shrink so others can feel taller. Stop negotiating with your potential. Stop treating your dream like a hobby. Stop apologizing for wanting more than the minimum. You are not here to fit in. You are here to light the room on fire. You are here to shake the walls until the bricks remember your name. You are here to do something so loud, so impossible to ignore, that the world has no choice but to take notice. And if that sounds arrogant, good. Arrogance is the belief that you can take space in a world that constantly tells you to stay small. The problem isn't that too many people believe they can win. The problem is that too many people have been taught not to even try. You can't change the world with realistic dreams. You change it by wanting the thing so badly it scares you, then working for it so ruthlessly that nothing else survives in your path. Understand this. Your time is running out. Every day you wait, the clock moves. You don't get to press pause. There is no someday. Someday is a lie we tell ourselves to avoid the truth that the door is closing every single second. One day, you will run out of chances. One day, you will run out of time. And on that day, the only thing that will matter is whether you spent it playing safe or playing real. So play real. Take the shot. Make the call. Build the thing. Launch the idea. Tell them how you really feel. Walk away from what's killing you. Step toward what sets you on fire. Stop pretending you have forever. You don't. The difference between the ones who make it and the ones who don't isn't luck or talent or even timing. It's urgency. The bold act now. The rest watch and wonder. And when you act like you're already the person you want to become. Don't wait for the title to lead. Don't wait for permission to create. Don't wait for validation to take yourself seriously. You want to be a builder? Build. You want to be a leader? Lead. You want to be unstoppable? Start moving like nothing can stop you. Because the way you act now is the rehearsal for the life you get later. Refuse to live on the sidelines. Refuse to be a spectator in your own story. Refuse to hand over the pen and let someone else write it for you. This is your life, yours, and no one is coming to save you. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you'll start acting like the hero you've been waiting for. And heroes aren't born in safety. Heroes are made in the fire. They are made in the moments when the weight feels too heavy, when the noise is too loud, when the odds are stacked so high you can't see the sky and they move anyway. Not because they're fearless, but because they've decided that fear doesn't get a vote. You get one shot at this. One. And the greatest tragedy is not dying, it's dying with your best work still inside you. It's leaving the music unsung, the ideas unwritten, the battles unfought. It's knowing you could have been more and choosing not to. Don't let that be your story. Empty yourself completely while you're here. Leave nothing undone, unsaid, or unattempted. And when they ask you, what if you fail? You tell them, then I fail loud enough to wake the dead. Because failure is not the enemy. Inaction is. Regret is. The slow suffocation of wondering what could have been is. Failure, at least, gives you something to stand on when you rise again. Regret leaves you with nothing but ghosts. So this is the deal. Burn the ships. Cut off the exits. Give yourself no way back except through. Make your dream the only route forward, and then walk it until your legs give out. And when they do, crawl. And when you can't crawl, drag yourself with your teeth if you have to. But you keep moving, because the alternative is to die where you stand. Success favors the bold. It always has. Not the lucky, not the connected, not the most talented, the bold. The ones willing to bet on themselves when no one else will. The ones willing to put their face on the line, their name on the line, their heart on the line. The ones willing to look at the impossible and say, watch me. And here's the final truth. The bold don't always win, but the timid never do. You can spend your whole life playing defense, or you can take the damn ball and run with it. You can live quietly, or you can live fully. You can exist or you can burn. And if you're going to burn so bright they have to shield their eyes just to watch you. The choice is yours. It's always been yours. And the clock is still ticking.